Hey everybody, High Lord Tamerlane back with more obscurities in miniatures. We're back with Brutality today. Yet another character pack. Today we are looking at Trajan the Righteous Executioner, which I'm assuming is this dude right here, and Atticus the Leviathan Hunter. You can see their artwork on there. We see an example of what the renders looked like during their Kickstarter, I don't know, campaign. That's the word I'm looking for. But all said and done, do the renders match the figures? Let's find out. If I can open the box, I guess. So, first thing we are graded to, we have the character cards, we have a little blurb about them, we got a little quote on there, got a nice view of the artwork, very Mike Mignola looking style. I like the art. The art was actually what initially made me check out the game a little bit more seriously. I'm a big fan of Mignola. So, and here is our Leviathan Hunter Atticus Kilgore. Oh, well, it's no Gorchoza when it comes to yelling stuff, but who knows. So again, I pointed this out in a couple of the other videos. You have what are their special abilities, you've got the movement, you've got their attacks, and their life meters. Not every character is going to be the same. It's very asymmetric in terms of how characters work and the things that they can do. So, we'll have to see how things turn out. I have not had a chance to play the game yet because I'm lazy and busy and haven't had a chance to even unbox it yet. So, our first friend here, Atticus Kilgore, the Leviathan Hunter. And you can see he's pretty close in style to his actual artwork that was included in the campaign. I don't remember if they had his sculpt ready while the campaign was running, but he matches up quite well. A lot of the detail really shines through there. You can see he's got his like shark tooth on his, all over him. He's got shark teeth on his belt, on his necklace. You know, very cartoony style for the facial features. But the details, for the most part, they do the job. It's very stylized, which is kind of nice. It's a, you know, bit different than the usual. Got both of his harpoons, naturally missing a foot. The base, I don't know if these bases are going to be the same. I do have a couple of the other figures. Let me see. I'm just curious if every character has a custom base or not. Or if they started with a standard one and just repeated it. I don't know. So anyway, you'll notice his base is actually one square, one area size for the actual board. Whereas his friend, or probably not his friend, but Trajan, the Righteous Executioner, is on a much larger base. And for whatever reason, I think the hood and the giant sword just really reminded me of War from the Darkstalkers games, especially he's got the big gauntlet too. Maybe it was an influence, maybe not. Quite cool looking character though. I do like the spike gauntlet. Again, very warlike from Darkstalkers. So overall, pretty nice and detailed, if a bit stylishly cartoony sculpt. And compared to his friend there, you'll notice there's quite a size difference. Toss that down there. And just to get a couple other figures for comparison, here is Dragon Slayer Ornstein from Dark Souls. And obviously, he's supposed to be a big guy, and you can see he's almost matching Trajan there, but Atticus is quite dwarfed by him. Let's get some other tabletop figures on display. So it's interesting that Atticus is just a little bit taller than our GW friends here. And this is one of the Shadespire figures from the Dark Oath faction, the Godsworn Hunt, I believe. So he's one of their newer human sculpts, whereas we have a traditional Space Marine, just to get a good view of how large they are. Grab our handy dandy. Base size is about a 40 millimeter square, and he seems to be about 45 millimeters tall or so, whereas his friend or rival, Trajan, is close to 75 to the top, or about 70 maybe, to the top of his hood there. I'm going to knock him over. So they're pretty big figures, and I would hope and assume that they're going to be easier to paint up than all the little details on some of the GW stuff. Bear in mind that since these are pre-built figures, it might be a bit of a pain to get into all those little cracks and crevices if you're like me, where you got to make sure that every piece of area is covered in paint. That could be an issue. Another issue that you might run into is warped bases. Now a little heat should clear that up, and more than likely I'm going to probably end up disassembling these figures in order to actually paint them, because it's just going to be kind of hard. This guy not so much, but Atticus and his coat is going to be kind of a pain. I do have some funky brushes that might be able to get in there, but you know, better to be safe than sorry and not end up ruining a nice paint job. So this again is Trajan. It's going to take me a while to remember these, and Atticus Kilgore for the game Brutality. You can check it out. I'll put a link to the game's website down below. It just came out to Kickstarter backers and hopefully should be hitting retail soon. If you're into those kind of player versus player, be it 1-on-1, 2-on-2, team match, I think it is 2-on-2 actually, you know, arena-based combat with artifacts and relics and throwing crap at your opponents and throwing them into the traps, and it might be something worth checking out. I can't wait to try it. Hopefully this weekend. We'll see. With that said, I'll let you guys go. This is High Lord Tamberlin with Obscurities and Miniatures saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.